Hey everybody, I am back today with a new layout for Cut to You. I'm going to be using two cut files today. One is the Rose Builder cut file and the other one is Love This Story title. I kept my cut file on the mat because I want to add some coloring to it before I remove it. By adding these oxide ink colors onto my cut file before I remove it from the mat, it's just a little bit less messy, and these are very detailed cut files. So it would be kind of hard to go ahead and do it while I am... Oh, obviously someone handed me my iPad. Sorry about that. I didn't know that piece of footage was in there. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm using Picked Raspberry Distress Oxide inks, and I am using Mode Lawn Distress Oxide inks, and I'm using my life-changing brushes from Picket Fence. And I will go ahead and just leave these cut files on my mat until I am all finished coloring the parts I want. I don't want to color these completely. I want some of that craft cardstock to be visible. And that's another thing. I have cut my cut files in craft cardstock instead of white to give it a bit of a different look. We're going to do a heritage page today, so I thought that the craft cardstock would be a nice addition to my layout. Now I'm going to go in with the green, and again, just not fully coloring in and covering all the craft cardstock, just giving it a touch of color to all of the leaves. And I am also leaving the title cut in craft, and I'm going to back it here in a minute. And now when I go ahead and start to pull these off the mats, you'll be able to see how they look as I place them onto my table. And you can see how delicate they are. The Rose Builder cut file is so versatile and so much fun. It comes with a whole, like all the flowers are separated, but then some are together. And yeah, it's a really, really good cut file if you're looking for something that you can kind of color yourself, use again and again. I would really recommend this Rose Builder file. Now that I have everything colored and cut off of or removed off of the mat, I'm going to go through the 6x8 paper pad. I'm going to be using the Garden Party collection from Maggie Holmes. This is her newest collection. It's very beautiful if you haven't seen it yet. I'm going to kind of flip through and kind of audition a couple of these patterns because I'm just not quite sure which one I like behind my cut file, but I am going to go ahead and end up going with that kind of tone-on-tone pink one that I showed a little bit earlier. And you can see here how many different beautiful patterns are in this collection. So that's the one I'm going to go with as the backing for my cut file. And now I'm going to go ahead and start working on my layout. So I said I'm going to do a heritage layout, and what I've decided to do is to use this kind of small bud paper from the Garden Party collection. I'm going to ink it up with some Distress Oxide in Hickory Smoke, and then I'm going to mat it onto a piece of black cardstock. So the paper that I'm using from this collection is from the paper pad, so it's a little bit thinner, or the project pad. And it is a bit thinner than the, regular paper. So because it is so thin, I really wanted to give it a border and put a cardstock background on it. I'm just putting a little Kikoyo tape in the middle to hold it steady. And then I'm using the tearaway tape from Spiegel Mom Scraps so that I can center my pattern paper, push down on the Kikoyo tape, and then that will hold it in place while I remove the backing paper from the tear tape. And that's a really easy way to get everything lined up and straight when you want to border a page. And I did not gut my black cardstock because I need that full sheet for stability, because the papers in the project pads are not very stable. They're not nice and thick and heavy. So I've decided to go ahead and use 3 of the patterns from the 6x8 paper pad. I am using these patterns as full sheets of 6x8 paper. I'm going to ink them up with some hickory smoke distress oxide, and then I'm going to go ahead and put them kind of at 3 different angles centered in the middle of my page. I am going to use that kind of creamy colored paper with the pink. First of all, it's going to help to break up the floral pattern that I've chosen and the gray pattern that I've chosen. Well, I've gotten 2 florals there. One's gray, one's pink. So this cream paper is going to do 2 things for me. First of all, it's going to break up those florals. And secondly, it has these lovely lines on it. So I'm going to use it to do my journaling. This is the photo we are going to be working with today. So I digitized this photo and then I printed it both in a 4x6 and a 3x4 because I wasn't sure how they would print. It is very old. It's a lovely photo, but of course it is old, quite old. So it ended up looking better, I thought, as a 3x4. So I'm just looking for a way that I can go ahead, what I can mat it in. I'm going to choose this black and white pattern. I'm going to mat my photo again using that Distress Oxide ink in Hickory Smoke to add that lovely kind of dark gray edge to all of these patterns and papers. I'm going to use my title to kind of frame my photo a bit. So I have the photo here, and then I'm going to use this, my title. I'm not adding phone tape or anything to it. We have all these beautiful layers on this page. I don't think I add any kind of dimension because I do have all these layers. So I'm just kind of nestling in my photo. There's a lot of empty space on this photo, so that allows me to kind of overlap onto the picture. Also, this is a reprint. This is not the original photo. So now I'm going to go ahead and do my journaling. I'm going to talk about the person in this photo who is my great Aunt Ruth. And she was a nurse. And this photo is actually of her in her nurse's uniform. So I did some online research to get a little bit more information about her. And then I also had some information that my grandmother had passed down to me. So I'm just adding all of that right onto that lined pattern paper. Now I'm going to go ahead and start building up these leaves. So I'm going to go ahead and decide where I want them to be. I'm going to place them in kind of 3 different areas and then just go ahead and kind of glue them down. I am using an Altenew 2-in-1 glue pen. Really like these glue pens. I get mine from a Cherry on Top. They're actually, I am liking it better than my Close to My Heart glue pens, which used to be my go-to for backing cut files. So this is a really nice, I'm glad that Altenew came out with these because the Close to My Heart ones were discontinued. So I'm just going to go around, decide where I want these flowers, and put them in. A little bit of heritage photo information for you. For those of you who really enjoy my heritage layouts, I have found online that my maternal side of my family, so my mom, then my grandmother, someone was nice enough, they have a huge family tree that's open that you can just look at online. It's really cool. It goes years and years and years and years, like down to like my first ancestor. Like it's huge and so awesome. So I've been having fun kind of finding my family on this particular family tree, at least that part of that side of my family. So my grandmother's, my mother, my grandmother, that side of my family. So that's been super fun. And that has made me kind of tend to want to scrapbook these stories and the things I'm finding and the photos I have to go with that side of my family tree, because the other ones will be a little bit harder once I get to like my dad's side of my dad's side, which I don't have a lot of photos or information for. I still do have a lot of my grandfather to go through too, though. So I have very, very little from any of my dad's side of the family. So, but we'll get there. I have a little bit. So I do have some photos, so we're definitely going to do them. I'm not sure that there'll be a lot of journaling because I don't have a lot of journaling. So I'm just tucking these little die cut areas in all different places. And then we can go ahead, once we have those flowers down, I can add a little bit more embellishment to areas that I think need a little bit more. I did end up not using all of the flowers that I cut. Some of them are going to end up on cards or other projects later on. I always create my clusters in the same way. Start with the larger elements and work to the smallest. So I'm using the cut files as my largest element, and now I'm just kind of going through the sticker sheet and the couple of embellishments I have from Garden Party. I don't have them all, and I am adding them here and there around my layout. And then I did end up popping some of these up on some pop dots to give them a bit of dimension. I think that maybe my favorite embellishment from this Garden Party collection are these flowers. You can kind of see them there on the left. They're underneath the stickers right now, and I need more of them because I'm going to put 3 of them on this page, and they are really pretty and really, really lovely. Kind of a really unique, fun embellishment that is in this collection. Here, I'm picking them up. I'm going to put the 3rd one down on the page now. These flowers, so pretty. I really like them. And I fully intend to buy a couple more packs of them because there's only 6 in a pack. I don't think they're very pricey either. Maybe I really didn't notice. So just choosing my last little elements here to kind of fill out this last little cluster. And this is where we're going to call this one done. Thank you so much for joining me today. Be sure to head over to the Cut to You shop. Grab some of these beautiful cut files because they will work perfectly with a lot of the new releases that are hitting the shops now. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.